Shewani Africa Tsonga, greetings to the whole universe. Minantemelara Africa, I am right here with the most gorgeous Mama Bekwainterview, our educator. She's an award-winning educator, she's a speaker, she's, I don't know, saying this whole lot of things could actually be me, maybe honesty, but when I watch it, but that's Shamsela Leshwani. Shewani Mama Bekwainterview.
Aye.
Minjan.
I'm
Kela eka no switch me on.
Go. And I can support Namina. Yeah.
Okay. This is another episode of Switch Me On right here. To follow us, please, it is Switch Me On Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Then you are very much welcome to also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Mama Beko, we are here with you. I mean, it's been, should I say it's a dream come true, or it's a heart desire that has been fulfilled? Because wow, like the moment that I knew you, or the moment that I saw you, because you know what, I stalk people for a living.
Okay.
So last time
yeah.
Then you go, I know we should have her because you see people like Mama Bekwa. They tend to be celebrated. Maybe lokho kuse ubunzile or so. I was taking it when they should celebrate them. Well, in the birthdays we do celebrate you, but I don't think so enough. But the recognition in that so. Laba boka maybe bangashiwe ku Mama Bekwa imani emunhu wanjani. To them, how would you describe yourself?
All right. I'm a very kind person. I'm very soft-hearted. I love kids, and I commit myself to whatever I do. I'm a teacher. I've been a teacher for the past 14 years.
Yeah.
And my experience has been great.
Yeah.
Working with young people, transforming lives.
Yeah.
It's what I do on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Whether we are at school or we are not at school, that is me.
Okay.
Yes.
Nah, yeah, you can go on. I'm listening.
Okay. In my experience, for 14 years, I've had ups and downs. I've had hardships, which I managed to overcome. When I started my teaching, I was not a qualified educator. I volunteered at a school called Bundles of Joy because I heard that they wanted someone to come and volunteer to work with the grade ones.
Yeah.
Someone who can speak English fluently, someone who's got a metric. And because I was a university dropout, I had a metric and I had the language, and I thought, that's me.
So much confidence.
Although I never dreamt of being a teacher myself, I think teaching chose me.
I was about to get there. Since you are a teacher and somebody that loves kids and all that, if it wasn't for teaching, what would you have chosen to be?
Yes, I have always dreamt of being a geologist.
Okay.
Because at one point when we went for a trip, I met a geologist and we had to touch rocks. These are this type of rocks and nature and all those things. I got fascinated by that and I felt, oh, okay, it's a well-paying job. I wish I could be a geologist one day. But that never happened. I only got to do my first year modules, which were 12 modules, and I did them very well. But because of the situation that we had at home, we did not have enough. Sadly, I was promised by my dad while growing up that there was a certain money that we were supposed to get.
Yeah.
And he promised that money is going to be set aside for us to go to school. So I went to school eagerly, so did everything that I had to do, and I passed my metric very well.
Yes.
But when I went there with my results, it was a disappointment.
Wow.
My dad turned me down to say he can no longer be able to do that.
Yeah.
And I went to college. My mom was not ready for that because we knew that there was money set aside for that. When I got there, luckily, I had good grades in my results. Yeah. So I got the Vice Chancellor's Award bursary, which took me for a year. My mom will just see to it that I eat, and she pays the rest, but the tuition was paid by the bursary that I got. So I did that 1 year, and after that I had to drop out of college because I became pregnant.
Wow.
and I had to drop out of college to raise my child. I took a gap year.
Yeah.
In that gap year, that's when I found out that there's a school that is looking for a person who's got the language and who's got a matric.
Wow.
And then I went and volunteered. And then that's how I started my work as a teacher.
Okay, wow. Hashtag motivate me. The struggle of an African child you've had, how she had to drop out due to some lack of resources that she had to use to be able to pursue her career. And then at the end of the day, she fell pregnant, but hey, she never gave up. She ended up picking herself up and coming back. So how was the feeling falling pregnant while you had to study and maybe try to better your situation? Because
yeah, basically my mother wanted me to go back to school after giving birth, because I gave birth in December. I came back home with the results, good results at that matter, because after falling pregnant, I thought my mother took me to school to get educated, but there is something else, which was not part of the plan.
Yeah.
And I studied in such a way that I wanted to make sure that I bring back home what I went to school for.
Yeah.
And definitely those 12 modules, I brought them back home in good grades.
Yeah.
My mom was disappointed, yes, but excited at the same time that I got results.
Okay, that is so great. if ever by that time there was no one who actually congratulated you for achieving like that, then let us take this time right here on Switch Me On. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
This one comes from me and the producers. We congratulate you all. I mean, like, that is such a good achievement. I mean, like, Nala Babamanyani, Mikumabuku maybe, they were on the edge of giving up. So you can do this and still bounce back in life. I'm sure with just that short phrase, something they can be able to pick up the pieces.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world.
What would you like? Just few lines or just short words. What would you say to those who have maybe had a situation like yours, who are encountering it or who have encountered it and feeling like no, because honestly speaking, being pregnant while you're trying to pursue your career or while you're still a student, I'm sure it's stressful.
It's very stressful. It's very stressful. There are mixed feelings. I remember when I shared with a family member, they were so disappointed in me because from a young age, I've been a peer educator for Love Life and PPSA. We knew about teenage pregnancies, STIs, STDs, HIV, and all those things. We were teaching other youth actually. Mara, like they say, some of these things, I think they happen because of maybe whatever we come across in life, or maybe you find that there has been a seed that has been planted somewhere.
Yeah.
And you find that if spiritually you are not strong, or you don't deal with such roots or such seeds that have been planted in your life, the most painful part is that you might also fall in the trap or fall in the trend that is there in your family. Like for an example, you find that in some families, they don't pass matric.
Exactly.
If you don't look at the trends that are happening in your family and you try to deal with that spiritually, you might also fall into the same trap. But even after falling into the same trap, I believe it's not the end of the world.
Exactly.
God is a God of second chance.
That's very good.
God has given me a second chance, and I believe He can give anyone a second chance. As long as you're willing, to wake up or to rise up from wherever you fell, you dust yourself and life goes ahead. Okay. And some of these things that happen in our life, you may find that it's part of the process of God.
Very true.
Because I believe that a child is a gift from God. And as it is a gift from God, then even my children were in the process of Florence that you see today.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. That is so beautiful. So let's get to let's just have a little intro about your journey on teaching. How was the first day? How was the first experience? How was like the first encounter? Actually, njani masungulo yakona ayari njani? Amtitwa njani because that was not the career path that you wanted, but mitikuma mirka yona midla amasungulo yona ayari njani?
All right. The first day, I went there through a friend who gave me the information to say they are looking for a teacher like this at Bundles of Joy. And then I said, he was actually telling me to help him look for a person. And then I said, no, look no more. This is the person you're looking for.
Wow.
Then he said, let me go and talk to them and then I'll come back to you. I had received a call to say, bring your CV and come for an interview.
Yeah.
And I was like, interview? I don't even know what I'm going to say.
What to say.
I was only 19.
Wow.
Yes, I was only 19.
How old were you when you fell pregnant?
I was 18.
Okay.
Yes. And then I went there. It was almost home time. Kids were all over the place. Some were boarding into their transport. And then there was this particular teacher. They used to call her KB. She had such a loud voice. And she was just calling children from every corner. She was just in control. And I felt like a fly in that place because I was an introvert. I didn't have a loud voice.
An introvert that turned into a speaker.
You know. I was like, I don't think I can be able to be like her.
Yeah.
I was so shy. I felt like a fly actually. I went in there, I went to the office. I can't even remember the questions I was asked. I can't even remember what I said. But then they said, you're hired. Then I was happy. The following day I went to work. My first students were about 22, if I'm not mistaken. And I still remember them by names.
Wow.
I have a picture which I took with them. I still remember them very well. Some of them are pursuing law, some engineering. Unfortunately, some of them I'm not in contact with them, but most of the learners that I taught, it's law, it's engineering. Yeah.
So you were teaching geniuses.
Yes, I was teaching geniuses, and I had no experience at all, no form of education in terms of the teaching qualifications and all that. But when I looked at those kids, I felt what I have, I'm going to give it all. And actually, as I continued to teach, to learn how to teach, to learn how to do the preparations and everything, I actually fell in love when I started to see that I'm making a difference in the children's lives.
Yeah.
Yes, there was a program that was introduced to us in 2008. Actually, the school that I started working on closed down because the owners were relocating to Johannesburg. Then one of my learners went to the next bigger Nyana private school that was Holy Rosary.
Yeah.
They refused him admission because they said they are full.
Wow.
But the mother insisted that please interview him. If you think he's not good, then I'll accept, I'll walk away.
Yeah.
They interviewed the boy, and after interviewing him, they said, this is a good child. It seems he's from a good school. What happened? Why are you removing him? Then she explained that, okay, the school is closing down. They're moving to Joburg. And then the principal said, at least give me 3 teachers from that school. And then I'll take your child. That's how I got employed at Holy Rosary. I went there for an interview, no qualifications, nothing. And after my interview, I really saw the favor that the principal had, because the interview, part of the interview was for you to teach a lesson in English and teach a lesson in maths. Already I had the background from where I was coming from. I taught, and the principal said, whether she has qualifications or not, I'm taking her. She'll get the qualifications from here.
Wow.
I remember one of the panelists said, she doesn't have SAYS. And now I know that it's illegal to work in South Africa without registering with SAYS. The principal said, no, she'll get it here.
Wow.
I want her.
Wow.
Yes, and that is how I got there, and that is how I started teaching. And in that, my first formal education was not in a university. There was a program that was introduced by Jenny Plunkett and Alan Davis from Australia for TRUS, where we had to teach learners how to read, how to spell, how to speak, dictionary usage, and all those things. After introducing that, in 2009, they came back to check as to how we are implementing the program, because the program was new in South Africa. They took videos of everyone who was there in the school. But what stood out for me was my interview, my lesson was the one that was broadcasted on YouTube.
All right.
www.trust.com/South Africa as one of the introducers of the program here in South Africa. Not only that, I was interviewed on the program and my responses were also broadcasted on YouTube. Then I said, oh wow. So it means it's not really about qualifications. It's this has been a calling for me. I didn't know, I didn't want to be, but somehow God created all the situations around my life so that He can redirect me to my purpose.
Very much true. So, did you realize your love for kids after you have started teaching, or you have realized your love for kids simply because you also had your very own child?
I realized my teaching not because I had my own child, but because I saw the difference that I was making in the children's lives. You know, to get a child in grade 1 who cannot even hold a pencil, who cannot even speak sometimes, who cannot even, writing is a bit far. For you to now, at the end of the year, the child is writing in a neat handwriting, the child is speaking, the child can be able to do this and that. It's wow, it's marvelous. That is what made me fall in love. The fact that I'm making a difference was like, this is me and this is what I want to do.
I mean, there are kids at home, I see them growing up and all that. I don't think I can keep up in terms of teaching them to hold a pen, teaching them to write. I mean, like, coming back to like crying, I mean, like, somebody can just come, ma'am, corona, and they can cry for that. So I don't think I can keep up. How do you keep up with kids like that at that age, at that stage? How do you keep up with them? How do you manage to
I've worked at Holy Rosary for 9 years, and it's a Catholic school. We had sisters who were leading us, and they are spiritual people. There is a statement that they used to tell us. At that time when I was working with them, I didn't understand it. It was said by Saint John Bosco. It says, I open quote, education is a matter of the heart, close quote. Education is a matter of the heart. For me, it was like, okay, what does this statement mean? As time passes, I then understood that for you to work as a teacher, it shouldn't be about anything else. It shouldn't be about money. It shouldn't be about fame. It shouldn't be about anything else that you can think about. But it should be about the heart, matters of the heart, meaning you should have the love of kids in you. You should have the love to impart knowledge to this little child in you so that you can be able to keep up. If you don't have the love, then teaching is not for you.
Oh wow. Okay. I think
unfortunately we have teachers in the system who don't have the love. I think it's the duty of that particular person to now derive some kind of love in their heart, cultivate it until it's there, so that you can enjoy what you are doing. Because imagine you wake up until 60 years.
Wow.
Let's say you're going to be working from now until my 60th, I think it would be about 27 years. Imagine working for 27 years where you are not happy. I think it's time to work for the love, have the love in you, have the love of what you're doing. I understand that most of us did not become teachers because we wanted to be teachers.
Yeah.
We became teachers because of some situations.
Yeah, very
Sometimes it's because it's a career that we're able to fall back on.
Yeah.
Maybe there is a bursary or something like that. But I think it's about time we understand that this is where we are.
Yeah.
And if this is where we are, we need to accept that we are here.
Yeah.
And we will be working here for the next whatever years.
Yeah, true.
Why not love what we're doing?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're hearing her. She's telling you about herself. She's telling you about her career, her love for kids and all that. Coming back, we'll be talking about her as a motivational speaker or an inspirational speaker or an inspiration to the community. Hence, she is a community developer. We're also going to be talking about her as an award-winning teacher. So that's what we are actually going to be doing right here on Switch Me On with Mama Bekwa. Hashtag motivate. Sure. Good day, this is still Switch Me On right here. Mama Bekwa. We spoke about quite a few things. Just one a community developer or how has it been so far? Because you're still on
I'm
it.
still on the journey, yes. Okay, it all started in 2008 when I was appointed at Wele Rosary School. The principal was Sister Hilda Taka from Sierra Leone. Yeah. She gave me responsibility to lead two committees. That was the entertainment committee and the trip committee. Yes, in trip committee we organized trips where learners had to go on excursions and enhance on what they have been learning in school. But I don't think I was very productive on that one. I was very productive on this one of entertainment. Because this is where I would coordinate my committee and all the teachers in the school. We had a time for extracurricular, wherein we would have talent search. Children will come and show their talents, and we develop those talents. Whatever we'll see and whatever potential that the learners have, we'll try to develop the potential, whether in terms of music, whether in terms of public speaking, and also when we have concerts, we'll use those children, we'll put them on stage, parents come to watch. I believe that in educating learners, it's not only about academics, but it's also educating holistically. In terms of, we've got sportsmen and sportswomen in those children. We need to also give them an opportunity to discover themselves. We've got artisans. We need to give them an opportunity. We've got public speakers. We've got singers. We need to give them that opportunity. You know, if in a classroom you have a child who cannot do the mathematics, but can draw, then why not develop the potential that they have and the interest and ensure that they fall in love with what they know?
You know, at some point, the society, what you are saying, I think it's going to rectify some few things on the society, because in most of the cases, the society measures the standard of intelligence or something by the ability to read and write only.
And that is not
They only use that.
Yes. You find that even as teachers, if I give a definition of what is this, and a child paraphrases what I said exactly, I feel, oh, this is a genius. And someone else says it in their own way. It's like, you know, but I feel the one who can be able to explain it in their own way is a genius. But also, through my experience, I've also asked myself to say, but what is the measurement for intelligence? Really, there is no measurement for intelligence, because I had a child in grade 5 whom I was teaching natural science. The child could not paraphrase what I say. Sometimes I'll give them a test and they will write and they will fail the test. But I gave an instruction for them to make an electric circuit. I was so amazed with what the child did. You know, I gave a normal bulb, I gave a battery, and just a board, demonstrating something so simple. But the child went home, got some fascinating lights, so beautiful. I don't even know where the child got those lights.
Yeah.
And he used a battery of a phone.
Yeah.
I never talked about that.
Okay.
He used the battery of a phone. His wires around the circuit were covered in a nice way. He used a board that he covered with white papers, and his work was so beautiful and marvelous. I said, this child is a success.
Yet is that child who does not speak in class.
It's a child who doesn't paraphrase what I say.
Mm-hmm.
It's a child who is failing my test. But look what he has done.
Exactly.
What is your measurement of intelligence?
Wow.
This is intelligence as well.
Wow.
And you may find that this is a child who is going to make more money than the child that you think is intelligent.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's up to us as teachers to treat all these children equally.
I think
whether they are low
further get
attaining,
to the parents, because
yes, whether they are low attaining, average or above average, there is no measurement for intelligence.
Yeah.
Yes. Back to the question that you asked me.
This is quite interesting because
of developing kids. I feel, I don't know, you can rate me. I think I'm a public speaker. So during my English lessons, orals, I always try to find, every year I should make sure that at least I find public speakers that I'm going to put out who will know even themselves.
Okay.
I am a speaker and they do that.
Kids.
I've developed kids on a yearly basis. I don't know how many they are now.
Rough estimation?
I don't know how many they are. But in a school,
over 100.
Even where I was working, even where I'm working right now, kids who stand in front and present something are the kids that I've noticed from class and took them out and nurtured their talent. Some of them I even put them out to be program directors when we're having events in the school.
Wow.
Normally they will ask me to be a director of events in the school. I don't do that alone. I do it with my kids.
Wow.
I make them feel the stage and all those prestigious people who have been invited and all those things. The children will never forget. And even when they go to high school, those children still keep on. If there are programs that need people to stand up and talk, those are the kids who are still doing that even in high school. Yeah. And I feel I'm a proud mother of those kids because I've discovered that and I've nurtured the potential, and the potential is working for them now. I feel it's even going to work for them in the future.
Yeah, there is a certain level of wisdom, honestly speaking. How did you realize such potential that you can...
When they are presenting in class, these children are different. Mm-hmm. They are not the same. But with certain kids, you can see that this one is a speaker. Mm-hmm. This one is a dramatizer. This one is a poet. This one is a storyteller. Mm-hmm. This one can deliver a speech. This one can debate.
Wow.
And then you put them out there. There are competitions for the department. You put them out there. They go for the competitions. You are developing their talent. Wow. If there's anything in the school that is being done, I normally don't segregate learners. I'm looking for someone who's going to give a speech for this and this and this. I'm giving the opportunity to all the grade 7s. It's your farewell.
Wow.
Prepare.
Wow.
They prepare, they come. I talk to them to say, I'm only looking for one person, or I'm looking for 5 people. Mm-hmm. You're going to present and we are going to judge.
Wow.
And it's not that when you are not part of that, it means you are a failure or anything, but you just have to be represented by someone.
Exactly.
And we have that understanding with the children.
Yeah.
Because children are very sensitive to biases.
Exactly. Very true.
You should be very careful when you're working with the children because they are very sensitive to a biased person. Wow. So you should make sure that you never bias. Wow. Then in 2017, we had a program at Magangeni Primary School. I was still new by then, from Zanzi Spelling Bee. They introduced the program to us. It was about spelling as well. And then they wanted 3 volunteers who were going to teach children after school. Yeah. I was one of the volunteers. We taught learners after school how to spell, how to use a dictionary. They went for competitions from level 1 up to the national level. To the national level, we sent 65 learners. And out of 97 learners, 65 out of 97 or 96. Out of the 65 that we sent to the national, one of them, who is Tulani Baloye, emerged as the overall winner.
You sound like a proud teacher now when you
Yes,
mention
I'm
her
very
name.
proud. You know, I'm a very proud teacher. She emerged as the overall winner, and she represented South Africa in Uganda and in Kenya. And why wouldn't I be proud to teach a child who can go international and still make it?
Okay.
Yes.
Those of you who knows Hlolani Baloyi, who have been seeing her in social media platforms and all that,
Yes.
I'm with her right now today, like, switch me on.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I've developed not only Makangeni learners, not only Holy Rosary learners, and bundles of joy I cannot talk about because I was still a novice. I've worked even in the community of Malamulele. I've taught children from even neighboring villages through my organization, which I started with fellow educators, Mr. Mabasa and Mem Khumwan. We started an organization. The name of the organization is SIOC, Spell It Out Club.
Yeah.
After having experienced the change that was there through Mzansi Spelling Bee when we're teaching learners spelling, we realized that from the report of teachers and even from our own observation that the program of teaching learners how to spell and how to read was yielding a lot of results. The children who were attending that program were different from the other kids who were not attending the program.
Exactly.
And then we thought, now that Mzansi is not doing this, maybe they had a pause or something, why don't we start something of our own? We've been motivated by Mrs. Maine. Mrs. Maine is an old woman. She's our granny in the school.
Yeah.
She has mentored our principal, Mr. Mashava ML.
Yeah.
And because she is his mother, she is our granny.
Yeah,
in the school.
okay.
She also motivated us to start because when we celebrated with Sholani, she came to the school and she said, "You guys are doing a very good job." And then she motivated us to start, and we started. And now we were starting on a bigger platform. We had many learners coming in now, even learners from other schools. Children will come as far as Nyabana to come and attend. I remember a certain boy who used to come very late because he was coming from far. His father ended up saying, "Why don't you admit my child in the school so that he can be able to attend immediately?"
No, I was about to say that.
Yes.
Also myself.
Many learners joined
my
the
kids
school.
to come. The manner in which you are actually sending yourself in the school. I think that I should bring all my kids there.
Yes, you know, when we open our registrations every year, we don't stay for 5 days. It's packed. Parents want to bring.
How was the feeling when you see the response? Wow, so that's what you saw.
It's beautiful, you know. Parents sometimes. Yeah, we were expecting that after producing Florence Baloyi, we expected that. Yes, because who wouldn't want their child to be international?
Yeah.
Now in the era of fourth industrial revolution, the global village, who wouldn't want that?
Yeah.
So it's been a plus for us, and we have been able to raise kids and kids that would be able to compete anywhere in the world. We are in a township, more like a village, but we feel we are not raising village kids and we are not raising township kids, but we are raising leaders, we are raising professionals, we are raising businessmen and women who will be able to make it anywhere in the world. Okay. Yes.
All right. Talking about, you just mentioned 4IR. Do you have a way in which you used to instill it in this kid's mind so that they understand who say so and then to advance and align themselves to it? What are the ways that you use? Do you perhaps try to instill it in their mind?
Yes, we are doing that. I am doing that. There is a subject that the president advocated for in 2019 SONA. That was in 2019.
Yeah.
The president spoke of coding and robotics. Kids need to be educated, teachers need to be educated. In August this year, I have just been introduced to this subject of coding and robotics. We had a workshop for 5 days, and I came back with a lot of knowledge on how I can introduce fourth industrial revolution to the kids. But way before that, I had lessons on gadgets like laptops, computers, projecting them on the whiteboard from my laptops, and even the projector in the school. I remember when I won in the province for National Teaching Awards, I got a laptop and a projector of my own. I was so happy that day. I even came back, I told the children that this is your award. Why? Because my laptop was not very compatible to the projector that we had in the school. But this one that I had was so compatible to my old laptop, even to the new laptop that I won. So that was very easy for us to connect the gadgets in the class, and then I teach using that. And what I like most is when I go to class, I don't only connect, I used to connect myself. But these children are so full of knowledge, they're not empty vessels waiting to be filled.
How old are these kids that are able to connect the projector? And
they are 11, 12, 13. Because I'm teaching now grade 4, grade 5, and even grade 7. I'm mostly in grade 7 because in grade 7 I teach 2 subjects. Now because of the coding and robotics, I'm teaching 3 subjects in grade 7. So I'm mostly in grade 7, but I also teach grade 4 and I also teach grade 5s. So the grade 7s can connect. Yes. And they're very inquisitive about it. It's like I never planned to make them connect, but their inquisitivity is the one that made me to give them a chance. And I realized that they even know better than me when it comes to these gadgets.
I mean, they're born they're
just waiting for us to give them the opportunity, and they're good to go. During lockdown as well, I introduced WhatsApp teaching. Yes, it was new to me. It was in level 5 lockdown. The first part of the level 5 lockdown was like, okay, we're not going to school now, but soon we are going back. It was more like a sit-home holiday.
Exactly.
But when the president announced the second extension, then I realized there's a problem. Our kids are at home, have been at home for the past 3 weeks, they have not been learning, and we are still continuing. What is going to happen to them? Especially the grade 7s. What kind of products are we sending to the high school? Then I communicated with some of the learners that I was communicating with on WhatsApp to say, can you gather the cell phone numbers of your friends, your parents, or we went to the school, checked with them the list that we had of parents and number phones and all that. I started WhatsApp teaching. Although...
How was the experience? How was
it was beautiful.
Compared to you teaching them physically, now you have to teach them online. How was the experience?
The experience was beautiful, although it was not very effective 100% because some of the children did not have the gadgets. Even their parents did not have. So such would now come back to you to say, what about that child? But then children enjoyed. We had 2 hours every day of lessons, and they would make sure they are never late. They would make sure they write their work, they submit it on the platform and all that. After that, I had to learn more about this teaching online. I went to Mankwen to learn more about this, and I found out about the Google Classroom, whiteboards, blackboards, and all those things. And I came back and introduced to fellow teachers and also to our learners, and they were very helpful.
Wow, that is so great. That is so great. I just love the way or the manner in which she explores, just so that she can be able to actually take this knowledge. We are talking to an award-winning teacher, Lawani. We are also talking to a motivational speaker. So, those are the things that we're going to be talking about right here on Switch Me On. #motivate. #motivate me, switch me on. I told you that we're going to be talking about her journey of the national winning award via teaching. What are the requirements to be nominated award? Because I'm sure there's a process or qualify to nominate you.
I believe the nomination team would have looked at your work to see that you are dedicated in your work, you are hardworking. Actually, the categories that are there are all categories of excellence. It means you should have some kind of excellence in whatever you do in terms of your work for you to be nominated as a candidate for that.
Okay. Lewan in a national lewan you are
Yeah.
So we're trying to better compared to your competitors.
Unfortunately, when you go for your interview, you are interviewed alone. You're not interviewed with the rest of the people. But from the district level, when I was interviewed, they came to the school to check as to what is it that is happening for evidence. But before that, I got to know that I had 97 out of 100 when we were given the results. That means, it means my work is excellent.
Okay.
Yes. And then when we went to the province, we went to compete with other people in the province who were also contesting in my category of excellence in primary school teaching. After that, they just choose a day, any day, whatever you presented about, they come to the school to check what you said, was it true?
Wow. So there's no cheating?
No cheating. They come to check you in the classroom whilst you teach. They check, you said your class is having charts, right? Yeah, let's go and show us your class, which is having charts. You said when you are teaching, you use material and stuff like that. Let's go to your lesson and see those materials that you use when you are teaching.
Wow.
They ask your superiors as to, like, we've got submission of work, we've got our files, we've got everything. They even interview the children, especially the people for our media after winning. So there's no cheating about it. There's no way you're going to tell kids, okay kids, you're going to say this about me. No. They'll just pick anyone and then they
connections
no connections. So up to national level, you know what? When I was nominated in 2019, I was busy doing my honors, and then I was also having afternoon lessons. I had my timetable full, and my mom was sick by the time, and I felt I won't have the time to do this thing because it requires a lot of work and a lot of preparations and a lot of up and down. So I felt I'm not ready for this. But my principal persuaded me to say no. There's a statement that he told me, which I still have even now, to say, you are at your best when you are facing pressure.
Wow.
And I thought, okay, when I'm under pressure, that's when I'm at my best. I'm like, okay, fine. I ended up agreeing to getting into those.
Is it just a figure of speech, or he was referring to you?
I think it's what is working for him. Okay. And he thought, okay, since you are my daughter, he's more like a father to me. Since you are my daughter, it's also going to work for you. You're going to perform your best when you are under pressure. Okay. Then I put myself under pressure, and I entered the competitions at the district level. At that level of getting 97 out of 100, my competitors, the second one was around the 60s.
Oh.
So you can see the gap. And that motivated me, although I want everyone to come up. I don't want to be up there alone. But that kind of said to me, you can make it. And then when I went to the province, I was a bit confident to say, okay, you know what, I've made it in my district, so I can make it even now. When I reached there were many people, different languages, different backgrounds. You wouldn't know what this one is doing, but all in all, they are looking for those special things that you're doing which other people are not doing. Yeah. Those excellent things that other people work from 7:30 to 2:30. I went beyond that. I went beyond the call of duty.
What was the drive? What was the motive behind that?
The motive is to get a child to live a quality life at the end of the day. You know, when you look around, there are many families that are poverty stricken. And I don't have money to give people. I don't have anything that I can do for them to change their status quo. But like our former president, our late Nelson Mandela once said, education is the most powerful weapon with which we can change the world. I felt, okay, there are other weapons which you can use to change your status quo, to change your situation and everything. But this one of education, I feel it's the most powerful.
Wow.
And what is that weapon without a teacher? I'm telling you the truth. Even with Fourth Industrial Revolution, there is no kind of gadgets, no kind of evolution, whatever, that can replace a teacher. Teaching starts with us. I mean, education starts with us. We are the mother of all professions. If we want to see change in our society, it means teachers must change. It means teachers must do what they are supposed to do, because that child in the classroom whom we are neglecting is the same child who is stealing for us.
Wow, very true. Very true.
It is the same child who is there by the corner, who gave up to say, so and so, ma'am, so and so said, I'll be nothing. And then they drop out of school and they go sit by the corner, start smoking. So if we want to change society, it means our education delivery should speak to that.
Milika primary level. So the woman niketa badonzi bale high school baku change only one thing or introduce change, and you change only one thing about them. What would that be?
When I was in tertiary, I had a friend who was older than, I always have friends who are older than me. He's now a doctor, Dr. Ngwanyama. When I met him, he was still studying. And then when I got to the university, I found that he was my psychology lecturer. And then, you know, when we are in his lessons, they will be the people will be so quiet, they will pay attention, and it fascinated me and surprised me at the same time that he was so young, but he had the most respect from the learners. There would be other lecturers that, you know, things would just happen in the classroom, no order, a lot of things. But with him, he was so spot on, and people will be listening, you know, everything will just go smoothly. And that fascinated me to say, but as a young person, how do you manage to do that? And then he said, I am able to live in the same standard with the students. I don't go there with all the power and the mind to say, you know what, I am better than you, I'm bigger, I know better. No, I don't do that. I go there, I relate with them as though we are equals. But what will make them to respect me is the knowledge that I'm imparting to them. I prepare. And then I go there prepared, I give knowledge, and students respect me for my knowledge. I took that and I ran with it. I didn't know that one day I'll be a teacher, but now when I look back, I became a teacher whilst I was still young. I was 19. But students have always respected me. Why? Because I can relate with them at their own level. And I can then show that I'm an expert because of what I know. Not because I'll be putting an upper hand to say, I am older than you, I know better than you, but because of the knowledge that I'm imparting, the learners will end up respecting you for what you know. You go to class, you are prepared, they respect you for that. But way beyond that is to have a relationship with the students. I met a learner, I'm not going to mention their name. They were in grade 7 2 years ago. Everybody was just mentioning their name to say, hey, this child, hey, this child. And I wanted to meet this child. I was not teaching the child, but because I was always hearing their name, I wanted to know them and I wanted to relate with them so that I understand as to what is it that is going on in their mind. So one day I was in the morning duties when we are doing morning studies. Then he came, he was late. Then one of the teachers whom I was speaking with called him by his name to say, why are you late? Then I said, oh, this is the learner. All right. And then I called him, I just greeted. And then I said, please come and see me break time. He ran to class. Break time, he came. And then I said, I want to be your friend.
Wow.
Yes, I want to be your friend.
So you had to befriend him so that you can get to learn him.
Yes. And then I said, you know, friends communicate. Yes. So we will make sure that our relationship suffices because of communication. I don't mind, you can come after eating, during break, or second break, or after school, whatever time you get during the day, just to say hello to your friend.
Okay.
Yeah. Then that learner, the first day he came to the staff room, teachers were like, hey, like he is known for doing wrong. So people thought, okay, there's something, and there was nothing actually. I just said, no, he's coming for me. Until even my fellow teachers got used to him to say, okay, this one is coming to the staff room and he's coming for so and so. And from there, he used to not comb his hair. He will just do these lines on his hair. Mm-hmm. And I said, this doesn't look nice on a student. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about it?
Yeah.
Ma'am, I don't have money.
Yeah.
I said, okay, Friday, I'll give you money and
yeah.
then you go and cut your hair.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good to go. Then on Friday, he came. You know what? Mm-hmm. He cut all his hair. On Monday, he was clean. Mm-hmm. Okay? Slowly, he was starting to take responsibility.
So what was the response from other teachers after realizing that
teachers love him now?
Beginning to change and all that.
Yes, he even comes to the school to visit, and everybody wants to say hello to him. And you know what? Yeah. When he went to high school, he went to this other high school, and children were just in another way. He came to my house. He said, you know what, ma'am? I want to leave that school because the children are doing this and that was him before.
So what was that one element that he was lacking that you instilled in him?
It's love. It's a motherly love.
Oh.
I realized that his mother is staying in Joburg. He was staying with the granny. The child actually just wanted attention. Oh. The misbehavior that he was doing every time, it was not because of anything. He just wanted to be noticed. Wow. And I've also seen that with children who are grieving. They will do things that will make you to, when you deep down, you find out that, okay, they are grieving. Okay. It's their way of saying, can't you see me? Can't you help me? Can't you do something for me? It's their way. But if we just push them away, we end up not knowing what's going on in their lives.
Wow. Yeah. We are learning every day. We learn every day. Hopefully, you will get to learn. Okay, let's try and offer her love. Let's try and offer him some love as parents. And you embrace them. Mama Bekwa, I had an experience. How was the environment? How was everything? And then she got she changed the opportunity.
Okay, all right. That was on the 15th of February in 2020. We flew to Pretoria. Oh, I have to say, when we went for the interviews in the National, I boarded a plane for the first time in my life. Yes. Wow. Courtesy of the Department of Education, and even when we went for the event, I flew to Joburg, and then we went to RH Hotel in Pretoria. We slept there. In the morning, 1 o'clock, we had our gala dinner, although it was in the afternoon. The place was decorated in such a way that you would think it's an evening event. Wow. Yes, it was beautiful. The president was supposed to grace the occasion, but because of some commitment, he sent the late Jackson Mutembo to be with us. And also the Minister of Education, Mayor Angel was there. I'm telling you, it was such a prestigious event.
So you were dining with them?
I'm one person who likes to look good. I said to myself,
I can tell.
I said to myself, I'm going to enjoy myself. Whether I win or I don't win, I'm already a winner by just being in that event.
From within.
Yes. I dressed nicely and I got there. We were driven there and then we arrived. They started with the category of great art teaching. My category was the second one. They mentioned number 3, number 2, and then my heart was just pounding. And when they called Magangeni Primary School, there was no way that wouldn't be me. Before they even called my name, I had already jumped from Akaya Kamalamuleli. That's what they said on stage.
Yeah.
And I ran to the stage, held the minister's hand, hugs, pictures. It was beautiful.
Wow.
Then after that, we went outside for interviews. It was live. It was around 3 something past 3 on that day. I was live on SABC, all the news platforms.
That's why I had to ask before. And then Bekwainterview, why are
Mara,
you
you know what?
switch me on?
I think I'm learning to be happy. I've been so sad in my life that I think I don't know how to become happy. When I look at that video, I can see that the excitement was not.
Is it?
But I'm just learning to be happy.
Okay.
As I grow, I see, okay, fine, I've gone through stuff, but it's time for me to be happy as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. I was happy, but I didn't know how to show my happiness. Yeah, I was happy. Even when I went back to the hotel, I think around 11 a.m., I saw myself. I said, oh, wow. Mwana wa Mchangano, Kamalamuleli.
Okay.
Mwana wa Mthabini, Gezani, at TV.
Yeah.
You know, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
I was not the only winner.
So you were rubbing the shoulders with the big shots and
Yes.
all that.
Professors were
How was the
wet.
experience? How was the feeling?
So beautiful. So beautiful, like.
But do you know that you're also a big shot now?
Yeah, you know. Doctors,
I know the genius. I'm putting you on a corner here. I'm putting you on a corner here. The genius at the slab, but not the genius. The big shot at the slab, but not the big shot. Do you know that you're also a big shot? Agree and rephrase that. Do you know that you're also a big shot?
Yes, I can agree, but you know,
You
beyond
rephrase it, I can agree, I know I'm a big shot.
Jeez. Okay, I'm a big shot, but this is my secret.
You say but you cancel everything. Learn to be happy. One thing for sure. That's what you're teaching yourself. Agree with it and not even try to
Florence Bekwa, Mwana Esther Tomu, na Jeffrey Bekwa is a big shot. Yay!
We got it.
Yeah, and you know what? When I won, I actually saw that it's the grace of God. It's like God will just shower you with some gifts at some point for you to know that you are important. And I knew your journey before you even began it.
True.
Because when I look at my number 2, it's an Indian lady. Her name is Vanilla. Yes, she's from Northwest. Yes. She taught for 33 years.
Wow.
Yeah, you would understand that a person who has taught for 33 years has done a lot of things.
Experience-wise.
Yes. I was only 32 at the time when I won. I was out by the grace of God upon my life to say, what is it that is special about me to could have gotten this position mine? Someone has been teaching for more than the age that I've lived.
Wow.
You know, that I realized that it couldn't be anything else but the grace of God.
Very true.
Yeah,
Very true.
it's the grace of God upon my life.
Indeed.
I believe he knew that one day I'll be a teacher at Magangeni. I'll be able to make a difference in my community. I will be that beacon of hope for the children, especially black kids.
Yeah.
To say, no matter the background where you're coming from, no matter the situations that you pass through, you can still be successful.
Very much true.
Yes.
Very much true. You African child, never let your background to determine your success. Be the aspiration that brings inspiration. So yeah, that's how it has to be. Nibzele niku swifule the opportunity thing up to wina.
Okay. One of the opportunities that it opened up for me is relationships. Yes. I got to relate with people who are doing a lot in the education fraternity, and it helped me to learn from them, from my competitors, from the people who were in other categories. I networked, and that assisted me a lot. I know people like Mrs. Malumani, who is working in the province. She's opened a lot of doors for me to motivate in districts where I'm not working. Had she not recognized what I've done, I wouldn't have gone to those districts to teach teachers, to induct teachers. And I've been invited by the MEC of Education, Ms. Pauline Michelle. There is no way she could have known that there is Florence.
Yeah.
But because of the hard work that I put in, because of the award that I got, she was so excited, and she invited me to come and motivate the newly graduate teachers who obtained bursary to go and learn on ECD, their grade up teaching pre-foundation phase. And she was like, you are people that we are looking for who will build a strong foundation in the foundation of the learners in primary school, such that we don't have to waste a lot of money when learners go to grade 12. Because why are we having all this extra, that, and extra that? It's because the children don't have a foundation. Yeah. And you cannot build anything that is going to stand when there is no foundation. Wow. Yes. And I was able to go and motivate in different schools. Teachers from around and outside my district would call to ask about the things that I know in mathematics, in English, in science, because those are the subjects that I'm teaching. But beyond that, I was called to motivate teachers. So I've become an ambassador for National Teaching Awards. I've become an ambassador for the teaching profession in a way. And I was able to help in the district of Mopani West, to induct newly appointed educators for 2019 and 2020. Those positions are normally given to people in higher authority. Exactly. I'm just a teacher, a CS1 teacher, level 1 teacher, but I was standing in front of more than 80 teachers, from teachers who are from more than 80 schools. Wow. To induct them, to share my work ethics, to share my practices in the teaching. And I feel that that was an honor in a way which I got from this award. I have become a reservoir of knowledge in the education fraternity. Yeah. My principal in particular, whatever comes, whether it's new or what, Florence knows. Wow. Yes, and that has kept me on my toes to research about things. Now when we had to learn about Zoom meetings and Teams meetings, I didn't know what all that is all about, but I had to research, because I think the first meeting that we had in the school was for the HOD, one of the HODs in the school. And then the principal just said, call Bekwa, she knows. And I went there and I was like, the teacher is supposed to be in a meeting in around 2 hours or 3 hours. And I'm supposed to set up. I had to Google, I had to learn, I had to set up, and at 11 o'clock exactly, she was sitting down, she was in her meeting. And it worked? It worked. Big up to that. I had to travel to Polokwane at some point to learn and come back to the school to teach fellow educators. You know, I after winning, I've become a better person than I was before winning. Yeah. Because now everyone thinks I know everything, and there's no person who knows everything. Very true. But I have to equip myself with knowledge such that I don't disappoint those who look up to me. Yeah. I have to be knowledgeable so that whoever wants to know something or wants to be able to do something, I am that person who is able to assist. And I'm quite enjoying that a lot. Wow. And my plan for the future is not only to help teachers in Manganyeni, but I want to start workshops to teach teachers to be able to use the gadgets digital gadgets, so that we are at par with the fourth industrial revolution. Because as much as we say fourth industrial revolution, this and that, but if we still have a teacher who doesn't know how to open a computer, then how do you then expect to build a nation that will be compatible?
It won't be easy.
It won't be easy. So I think it's about time teachers get educated and equipped with this knowledge, so that we can build a better South Africa.
Okay, wow, she's a speaker. She's a speaker, by the way. So having her speaking like this, I don't know whether it makes my job easier or difficult. I don't know, honestly speaking. But then now I've got these two more questions that I just want you to respond. But yeah, no trouble in finally ni with this. I question it, but it's just you speaking of who do you acknowledge and all that, the acknowledgements. Shambiri, lava kutwisisa ku buku ya n'wina mi ta heta rini kumbe buku ya n'wina mi ta yi sungula rini.
You know what? Every day there is a push in me. There is a boy that I assisted to write his book, The Chef. I motivated him a lot to say, you must write a book, you know, these things that you are teaching us about cooking and all those things. And he said, you think my book can make it, Mama? I said, yes. We were attending the same church. And he wrote his book. And he said, what about you? I said, I'm going to start very soon. And I never started up to now. I think it's been a year. And your question, it's more like a reminder of what God has put in my heart. I remember one day I was taking a bath, and I was given the title of the book. Even the message that I'm supposed to put in the book, I have it. It's to bring hope and to bring a motivation to someone somewhere. Even if it's not everybody, just one person, to say there is hope, beacon of hope that is there for you as a black child. You can make it. I've gone through this. I think I need to share my story of everything that I've went through. But still, over and beyond that, I was able to make it in life. I'm not where I want to be in life, but I'm somewhere. I'm not where I was last year, and I'm not where I was in January. Every day I'm taking a step further, I'm taking a step forward, and God is helping me to go ahead and to make it on a daily basis until I get there.
I want to be the first person to purchase it.
Right.
So please, me if I'm saying sungula, me sungula, if me sungula, me
okay.
And then the acknowledgements.
Okay, I owe my life to God. Number one, I owe my life to God. The things that I've gone through, my path was not an easy one, but when I look back, I'm what I am today because of God. Many people who have gone through what I've gone through, they are not looking like the way I am looking. They are not doing what I'm doing. Others gave up on the way, but I never gave up. Not because I'm intelligent, but because God has been there to say, rise up, my daughter, the journey is still long. Secondly, my mom. My mom has been the greatest support that I've ever had in the whole world. And I realized that nothing can ever replace my mom in my life. Whenever I go for interviews, whenever I go for anything that has to benefit my life, my mom would pray for me. The most important thing that my mom taught me is prayer. My mom would pray until I say I'm done. And I realized that support that I had from my mom, I don't think I can ever get it anyway. That person who would celebrate you with the whole heart, and you know that there are no reservation, was my mom.
Wow.
And I owe it to her. I owe it to her to live a life that is worth it. Yes. And also my kids. My kids have been great support as well. Sometimes I will not be home with other people's children, but they would understand the life that their mother is living. Sometimes they will be part of my lessons because I wouldn't want them to be at home alone. Not because maybe they like it, but because they wanted to support me.
Wow, moral support.
Yes, wherever I go, whatever I do, my kids will always be behind me. Sometimes I'll go with them, sometimes I wouldn't go with them, but they will always understand that this is the life that our mother chose
exactly.
And we need to stand by her and we support her.
For.
Yes. And then I would also give a big thank you to Mr. Mashaba. Mr. Mashaba ML. He's been an angel in my life. You know, when God says he knew me before I was formed in the womb of my mother, it is very true. And He's aligned people in my path who are supposed to be there to usher me to greatness.
Very true.
I'm not great, but He's been that doorway that opened up for me to say, you can do this, you can make it. And that motivation that He gave me gave birth to the Florence that you see today. So for me, He's just a God-sent angel to me. He's not just a leader, He's not just a supervisor, but He's more like a father to me.
Wow.
I grew up without my father, and I think He's managed to close that gap.
Wow.
To support me like a father would to her daughter, just like He's doing to every member of staff, even to the children of Magangeni. I also thank my spiritual parents. There are battles that I fight in my life, which I see, some I don't see. They've got a duty and a job, which I know very well that they are praying for me on a daily basis. What you see today was birthed at church. In 2018, my father gave me a prophecy to say, people are going to start to see new things from you. And I've seen that already. In Malamulele and surrounding areas, who has ever won a car for teaching?
Wow. Wow, that is so beautiful. Honestly speaking, that is so amazing.
I will reveal secrets now.
Very limited edition.
I've been staying in a 4-room house. Even my kids have been complaining about it. The house that I've built, even before it finished, the cars that would pass would stop to look. It's not because of me. I think it's God.
Wow.
That prophecy that He gave, that people will start to see things from you. People are starting to see things from me. 2 weeks ago, I was on television for 1 hour. I was being interviewed about my life for 1 hour on television.
This is what's happening here on this podcast.
And this is what is happening again. Imagine 1 hour Mtabinji. People are starting to see things from me, and that was the prophecy that I received, and I still believe that it's still going to reveal a lot and more, and my journey is still long.
That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. Tell me, those of us who are looking forward to reach out, get hold of you, because honestly speaking, there's a lot that has touched other people's hearts, that can actually change other people's lives and all that. But now, should I be looking at you and see somebody that can be mentoring me instead of just having friends, but having a mentor and all that? How do I reach out? How do I get hold of you?
I think the best way is through the physical address of the school. It's in Malamulele section A, 673. That is the stand number. I remember a certain lady from Guyana, Precious. She heard me speaking on radio, and she found her way to Magangeni Primary School. And when she arrived at the deputy principal's office, she said, "I'm looking for Florence." And they came, and I was like, "I've never seen this woman before. Maybe it's a parent." And she said, "I heard you on radio, and I want to be like you." She started explaining her story and stuff. Then I saw that this is a teacher. It's just that she never realized before. She was working in a certain place and she was making a difference, but because of the battles that she was fighting, she did not persevere and she stopped. But she's a teacher and she's now pursuing a teaching career. Soon she'll be joining me to change the world.
Wow.
So My number phone is 071-439-3065. I'm there on Facebook, Bekwainterview Florence Priscilla. I'm also there on Instagram. It's Bekwainterview Florence Priscilla as well. I've got my blog. It's Bekwainterview. Yeah, that one I think you need a link from me to be able to access it because I don't think it's public. I only did it for some project that I was working on last year. Yeah, so that's me.
Okay. That was the most beautiful conversation, Lawan, with the most gorgeous Manana Bekwa right here. Got into the Switch Me On. Bona Lawani, it's been great having you. Please join us at Switch Me On to watch this episode. You don't want to miss it, honestly speaking. And please hit that button, subscribe, Switch Me On at YouTube, and also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Mina nsembela jara bashika kangomani nukranza blind. Lokube wanranza so blanzene mina na wena aranza. Sure.